Hey, let's hop right into it. No time to waste.
Oh, you've been knowing yourself, you've been a queer?
There's been signs of it ever since I was young, even if I denied it, and I'd rather be honest with myself.
And that's why you think that God did it?
Yeah.
Amazing. God didn't do that.
Yes, he did.
No.
Yes, he did.
I may not know my flaws, but I do not know God did not make queers. You say you participate with the LGBT and all that stuff?
Yes.
I read, and I almost don't want to ask you this, but I think I read that you call yourself a queer.
Yeah.
You call yourself a queer?
Yeah.
What's a queer?
Just somebody who falls under the LGBTQ plus label, generally. I don't like to use words like gay or bi or any of that because I've tried to use those labels and I don't really like them because they've been extremely constricting, and so I've thought like, hey, I'm 20, I'm just going to use this label because I do know that I have an attraction to men, and but I also seem to have an attraction to women, and I'm still trying to figure out exactly where I lie, so it's an easy catch-all term.
And so,
oh, that's what that means. I was wondering, like, what does queer mean? Okay, so I understand that now a little better.
a queer is having the attraction to both male and female?
Well, it can mean any number of things. I'm telling you who I'm attracted to, but queer could be basically anyone who falls under an LGBTQ plus
What
label.
would you rather that the world know about you? That you are a Christian or you're queer?
I guess Christian.
Hello, my name is Adam Ferrari, the Chief Executive Officer of Phoenix Energy. I look forward to...
So why would you put it out there that you are queer instead of just being a Christian?
Well, I'm not keeping private either of the information.
Well, what's the purpose of putting it out there that you're queer? What's the purpose of saying that to the public?
Well, because I like to have my dating options open.
What is that? So you would put your business out in the street because you want to have your dating options open?
Well, yeah, I mean, if I see a guy, if I want to date them, or if the guy was also gay or bi or something, they would need to know that I'm queer before they would approach me and want to date me. If they think I'm straight, then they wouldn't know that.
That is interesting. That's mind blowing.
Like if somebody didn't know you were single, and they thought you were in a couple or married, then they wouldn't know that you're available.
And it would be fine.
Yeah, well, not if you're trying to find somebody to live your life with.
But you should never try to find someone to live your life with. You should only seek what's right, and then all things will be added.
Well, I think cute boys are right, so.
What?
Well, I think that the cute boys are right, so.
So, that is interesting. That is so interesting.
Interesting.
But let me ask, is it right? I don't want to use the word right or wrong. Is it, which is best, to not be a queer or to be a queer?
What's best? I don't think there's any moral difference. I don't think there's a best or it's like asking me what's best, blue eyes or green eyes. It's like, well, I don't really think there's any moral difference whatsoever. Or
Blue eyes are best.
Well, thank you. As somebody who has blue eyes, I appreciate it. You have blue eyes? Yeah, I do have blue eyes.
I have blue eyes too. Thank you. Blue eyes are best.
Thank you very much.
I wonder if anybody ever realized that he's a troll. He's only trolling when he comes up here.
Blue eyes are more hated than green eyes.
Are they?
Yeah.
I've never received any hate for having blue eyes.
What do you think?
Well, I've gotten compliments for them, but I've never gotten hate for it.
Amazing. And so, what did I ask? What was the question I asked about?
Hold on, sit down.
It was about what's better to be.
Oh, to be a queer or not to be one?
Yeah, I don't think there's any difference.
Which is right?
What is right? I don't think there's anything right or wrong about either option.
Do you think God made queers?
Yes.
God made a queer?
Yes.
How do you do that?
Through his wisdom and power. I mean...
Because they exist. God had to have made them. They exist.
I mean, he did. I mean, I'm here, so he did.
So how did he make is it a queer, how did he make that though? You know how he made the body and made the human being.
He gave people the ability to have free will. Through them having the ability to have free will, they have the opportunity to go and do what they want with their bodies.
How did he make a queer?
Are you asking me to explain God's wisdom to you?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I cannot know. God's all-powerful.
So how do you know God made you that way then?
How do I know he made me that way?
Yeah.
Because I am. It's like asking me how I know God made me with legs. I can see my legs.
Facts.
Really? And so, as long as you've been knowing...
Can you take those chips and go back there and eat them real quick? Thank you, buddy.
yourself, you've been a queer?
There's been signs of it ever since I was young, even if I denied it, and I'd rather be honest with myself.
And that's why you think that God did it?
Yeah.
Amazing. God didn't do that.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
I may not know
You know what? The Christians do not want to accept the reality of something that could be true. God created evil. God created homosexuality. God created all the things that God despises. If he didn't want those things to exist, he shouldn't have allowed them to exist. That's definitely a good argument, but none of them, like, they'll go through a whole mental crisis. You start putting them in those areas.
Flaws, but I do know God did not make queers.
Really?
Right? God doesn't make mistakes.
Well, it's not a mistake to be queer, though.
And being a queer is not who you are, it's what you do as a result of being turned away from your earthly father. So you're really out in the wilderness looking for peace. And so you're picking up these different spirits, thinking that they're from God. But I totally understand it. But let me ask.
Well, then can I ask you a question, though?
Yes.
Well, if that's true, then why are boys so cute? Because if it's not right for me to feel these ways, then why are they so cute?
Because you have your mother's identity.
Really?
You have the mindset and emotions of a woman. You're not yourself.
How do you know that?
Because when you resent your mother, and in your case, she wasn't even around.
I don't resent my mother.
In your case, she wasn't even around to raise you, and then you resent your father. So you've been turned away from your father's identity, and you have your mother's identity, which is of the feminine nature. Whoa. And so you think and feel like a female because no one has really explained that.
So if you have a feminine nature, you don't... this dude. So if you have a feminine nature, then that means that you like men.
And that's not who you are. You've grown up thinking that that's who you are, but that's not who you are. That's what you do.
That's very interesting because it sounded like at first you were saying I resented my mother, and if I would have said yes, then it would have been, well, you resent your mother, so that's why you're queer. But when I said I didn't, then it's, well, you resent your father.
No, you
and
do
since you resent your father, that's why you're queer. So it sounds like no matter what path you would have taken, it would have been an explanation.
You do resent your mother because she wasn't there for you. So
no, I don't. I don't resent my mother. I understand why she wasn't there.
And you resent your father, but it's because of the resentment. You're born through your mother, so you're born in sin, right? And that's what has brought this idea on about being a queer. But that's not who you are.
Well, I think it's mostly just because boys are cute. I don't think it's really that complicated.
And so, that's amazing, man.
Amazing.
Absolutely amazing.
Absolutely amazing.
They really don't have an explanation for why people are homosexual. So, like, it is a good question. I don't know. They just don't have an explanation. On either ends, whether you're for it or against it, there really is no explanation for why it exists. It's just, it exists. It's something that exists. We could come up with all different types of things. Like, it's in the animal kingdom, so it's probably a part of our nature. We could come up with, like, whatever we want, but there's no explanation for why it truly exists. There's nothing. Like, nothing. There's even... with trans there is, but not with anything else. Like there's nothing to describe in the brain that's any different from the way they view life compared to we view life. There's nothing different in the brain. There's no chemical imbalances. There's no nothing. So there's nothing to explain why it is. But I do have this question. Homosexuality ceases with the person. So how do you become homosexual? You can't reproduce through homosexuality. So how could it be passed through a gene? A degree of me does feel like it's taught, but I don't know. I could be wrong about that.
And so which are you more proud of, being a queer or a Christian?
What am I more proud of? I've never really measured them against each other.
Which do you promote the most?
What do I promote the most?
Or being a Christian?
I don't really promote it. I don't really promote being queer. I don't know, like, it's not like, hey, join the club. Like, I have, like, membership forms. Right. If you want, I can give you one of my membership forms. I can recruit you into the queers.
Which one do you promote?
Well, I guess it was.
Or being a
queer? I would say being a Christian because anyone could be a Christian. Not anyone could be a queer.
What do you mean anyone could be a Christian?
Anyone could come to God, but not anyone could just find men attractive.
Amazing. Interesting, man.
So last night he used him. Honestly, nothing but.
Like, do you find men
I
attractive?
Jesse stomped.
Do you find men attractive?
No,
You don't find them cute at all?
no.
Not their cute little dimples or anything? None of that?
Even the one with the blue eyes.
Even with the muscles? Even the muscly men? Well, then it looks like you can't be a queer, can you?
Even the one with the muscles.
Even the one with the muscles.
But
See,
you have a
can't sell me
girlfriend,
on
right?
that. Yes, I do.
Are you able to talk about her for a minute?
I would rather not.
You would rather not mention
rather not
her
talk
color
about
or anything?
No, well, I mean, she's black. She's from Haiti. But
So you have
Hey, Sean. I'm with you on that, buddy. Haitian women is the best. They're incredible. He got a Haitian woman. Hell yeah.
a black girlfriend.
yes.
What is a guy with long hair, blue eyes, doing with a black woman from Haiti?
Well, I grew up in Prince George's County, Maryland. It's a majority black county. I'm very proud of the community, and I've never dated a white person in my life, and it's not because I don't like white people, or if I found someone that was white, maybe I did. There was an example when I was in high school. There was one other white person in my class, and that one white person was a woman, and I found out in my graduating semester she was actually my cousin. And so it just showed how few white people there were in my community, so it's not like a preference thing. It's more just, these are the people in my community, and so they're the people they're mostly black.
I said this before, that you will date predicated on what you're around.
Yeah.
And that's how you ended up with a black woman?
Yeah.
Is she your first black woman?
No, she's not.
Really?
All right, y'all, I gotta go because it's the camera's about to die. But yeah, like, hey, get you a Haitian woman. Haitian women are incredible. All right, y'all, peace.